Welcome to episode 65 of the Champagne Comedy Podcast, where we talk about the best Australian comedy show from the 90s ever made, Frontline, and other D-Generation comedy tidbits. My name is Matt, and joining us on this podcast today is Alison and Daniel.
Yay!
Hello.
And because...
who's that guy?
Yeah, hold on. Don't jump the gun yet. Because this person decided to call us out on if we're ever short on our regular co-hosts, because we have run on myself, Alison and Daniel in the past. He has decided to volunteer. Foolish man. Foolish. And said he'll love to come on. And because I already got a heads up on Kim not being available for this one, we thought we'll drag in a long-time listener, first-time caller. We have Jeff coming all the way from Western Australia.
Yay!
Hello.
Hey, Jeff.
All right. And so you're a self-proclaimed D-Gen nerd as well. So you're part of this whole team. Well done.
Yeah. Old enough to remember when it all started.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Did you get into them right at the beginning? Or?
Yeah. So, I think I've got a few years on all you guys, but I'll go back to the start of the story is probably about 1984. I was in year 9 at school, and there's a few kids at school talking about this crazy new English show that was on called The Young Ones, which at that stage was on, the first time it was shown was like 11:30 on a Tuesday night or something like that, so nobody saw it except very, very few people. And we had an English teacher who had us last period on Friday afternoons, and if we'd run out of stuff to do, he'd throw on a video and we'd watch 10 minutes of The Young Ones, and that was sort of the first that I saw of it. And then The Young Ones got repeated, I think, the following year, which is when I watched the whole series, and then it went huge and was repeated again the following year, and Rick Mail and Ben Elton toured through Australia, and The Young Ones was just going gangbusters. But my mum actually was a school librarian, worked at the education department, so she always had a pretty good finger on the pulse of stuff that was happening and stuff that I'd be interested in. And I actually still remember her telling me one day that there's this new show going to be on the ABC, and she described that she'd heard that it was like Australia's answer to The Young Ones. I don't remember ever seeing that in actual ads or promos, but that was how she'd heard of it, or
it was shown back to back with The Young Ones, wasn't it? So
it was, and initially, so The Young Ones was, I think, on about the third time through, but it was probably the first time that it was really, really massive, and everybody in the country was watching it. And I think from memory, it was the D-Gen came on at 8:30, and then The Young Ones at 9 or something like that on a Monday night. I think it was.
Yeah,
good on your mum getting you into the D-Gen.
Yeah, she was very good at that sort of thing. She just through the school library stuff, she'd see stuff and go, oh, this will be good. She gave me a book once that came through. She said, you might like this, because I used to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and said, you might like this book. And it was actually the novelisation from Red Dwarf.
Oh, wow.
Of like the first couple of series. But this was 3 or 4 years before Red Dwarf ever made it to Australian TV. So
wow.
By the time Red Dwarf came on TV, it was like, oh, I've read this book, however many times. And so it was sort of well ahead on the curve on that. So that sort of stuff, she was really good for picking up, this stuff that I would be interested in and throwing it my way. I mean, as it turned out, of course, the D-Generation really isn't anything like The Young Ones at all. It's a totally different sort of thing. It's probably more like Monty Python's Flying Circus or something, which I was probably watching at the time too. But
to borrow a line from McAuliffe, the D-Gen is Australia's answer to The Young Ones, assuming the question was very badly worded.
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, but it got promoted. With The Young Ones, they used The Young Ones as sort of the launch platform for it. I think even to the point Rick Mail and Ben Elton were in Australia just before the D-Gen started and did some promo stuff. I think they did an interview with Molly Meldrum, and then they recorded some. Yeah, I think they did. And that was just before D-Gen started, so I think they got them to record a few promos and a few sound grabs to promote The Young Ones and D-Generation together.
I discovered recently there's a bootleg of Rick and Ben's sort of Australian tour, which is on a podcast by a guy called Jeff from Perth, actually, called No,
No, really?
not
Wasn't
you.
me.
Different Jeff. But yeah, the podcast is called Podcasto Cat Flappo, and it's actually about Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. He got this bootleg of Rick Mail doing his live act in Perth. So yeah, if you're interested in that topic, go check out that podcast. It's very, very good.
I'll have to go and find that. You know, my older sister went to the show. I was insanely jealous because I was only 15 or something. So, and of course, it was in a venue where you had to be 18. My older sister went and saw Rick and Ben, and she got a poster from somewhere, which was like a poster with Rick Mail and Ben Elton on it, basically life size.
Oh, wow.
Which she
I would love that.
from someone at uni, and I had that on my wall for years. But it took up the whole wall.
Jealous. I would love that.
Rick and Ben did these interviews with Molly Meldrum, and then they were promoting the young ones with the DGen as the lead-in program. So they also recorded a few audio sort of stings.
Hello, Australia. It's me, Rick. And get this, coming up soon on ABC TV at 8:30, Thursday, March the 13th, D-Generation, a raunchy new Australian comedy show, followed at 9 o'clock by The Young Ones, a British comedy. But who cares what country you're from? All people are the same as far as I'm concerned, except I'm best.
How iconic.
I remember another promo I remember seeing, which must have been on one of my videotapes because I saw it endlessly, but it was Rick Mail promoting him and Ben Elton's comedy tour as well. And that must have been shown on the TV just before an episode of DGen, I think, because I know I can still just about quote it word for word. So I must have seen it every time I watched that. Every time I watched that tape, I would have seen this promo from Rick
And
Mail.
then fast forward, like speaking of Ben Elton, fast forward to 1994, and Ben Elton goes on.
He does.
Yeah,
Yes.
94,
Yeah.
95.
Well, Ben Elton lives in Fremantle most of the time these days, so he spends has since way back then. He's spent most of his life living in WA. Married a girl from Fremantle, so he was in Australia a lot, so he would have been easy to get hold of for that sort of thing. So that was where the DGen started anyway, and yeah, those early shows, unfortunately, I don't still have them all on tape. I've got a few that I've found along the way, but I haven't managed to find the whole collection, but yeah, they got a fair work out the videos that I had.
It's really good to have a hanger on basically from the very beginning on the podcast because I only got into them when they were on the Late Show, so I don't know if that makes me a fair weathered friend in terms of the Working Dog universe, but I bow down to you for being able to get into it via the young
definitely
ones
watched
as well.
from episode 1, and it was really those 1988 specials where the DGen goes commercial and Degenocide especially. I know I had that on videotape and must have watched that more times than anything, and that's one that I'm still got vague hopes that I'm going to find it on a videotape that I've got in a box here in my office one day, but I haven't found it yet.
Well, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've got a whole lot. And every now and then I digitize one and have a look and see what's on it. And sometimes it's interesting, and sometimes it's just another copy of
You can't have enough of those. But yes, Jeff, on record,
Good
when we
luck on
get
your
to the
search.
DGen episodes, we will have you back on board for that too. So
we'll come back and
that's if we're all still alive with the whack.
Crazy.
Oh, we'll
the
be
rate
doing
that
this
we're
well
going.
into our retirement years, I hope. There's
Yes.
plenty more to analyse and talk crap about.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and welcome aboard. All right, 2 bit of feedbacks.
Uh-oh.
And one, after a brief discussion with Alison previously on the show, or before the show, I should say, decided that this is not a Fidgen or doesn't deserve any sonic trigger because it's not that bad. But first one is a review, which I'll take that on board, calling this podcast a bit patchy and saying that it's usually entertaining, but the presenters have a bad habit of going off and on tangents or talking about themselves instead of the TV shows they're supposed to discuss.
I mean, they're not wrong, are they? That we absolutely do that, and that's fair comment, and we'll try and stop. Or actually, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and be better.
Yeah, considering that it can get to almost 2 hours. Yeah, we could rein it in, guys. Myself included.
Yeah.
You don't hear what goes the raw version of these episodes. So what you hear is the
best bits,
the edited down versions. So that's a fair cop, and we agree. So there you go. So. Now you can improve your 3-star rating. Come on, we agree. Give us a 4 at least. Also, someone randomly on Reddit, which I discovered by pure accident, I don't know how to pronounce the username, but it came down to what
is it Soap Coach or something?
No, none of those. But it was I fell down the rabbit hole. Someone had posted something about what Australian comedy show would you like returning, and they had a picture of The Chaser. And then as I went through the comments just to grab, see what like-minded people have got, Hey It's Saturday and Bob Morrison show on their minds. Someone had written here that someone had said The Late Show, which popped up numerous times, and Frontline, and someone had said here, if you haven't heard the Champagne Comedy podcast, check it out. They went episode by episode of The Late Show, ending up getting a lot of guests, including cast and crew, and have now moved on to Frontline. So lots of discussion on the context of the times, funny and nostalgic without being overly so. And it took a few episodes for them to find their feet, but it got me through lockdown. So thank you very much.
Oh, it got us through lockdown.
Yeah, that's the reason why this whole thing started. Yeah. So there we go. Just like
I saw that on Reddit. It was only yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, I was gonna bring that up that you got a plug there. So if there's extra viewers this week or extra listeners, it's definitely because I'm on the show, not because it was plugged on Reddit.
So whoever is Morkenmana, I do apologise if that is completely wrong. I do have a history of not pronouncing the words correctly on this podcast. Maukemana.
That's a nice comment. Thank you, Morkenmana, for that.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's really kind of you. So there we go. And that backs the whole thing about the other review about we have a habit of talking about ourselves. So there we go. Thanks very much. And also, big shout out to Alexis, aka Three Palms, who is listening in via goodpods.com. I keep getting notifications saying that they've given us a praise through goodpods.com. So there we go. So thanks, Alexis. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So if you ever want to shout out or whatever on this podcast, write something, whatever you want, and we're bound to find it, or drop a hint. Don't say it was you that wrote it, but we'll give you a shout out.
The only other bit of news is that we've got an air date for the return season of Thank God You're Here. Last year, when it returned for a 5th season, the only stuff we had was Celia Pacquola, a big blue door, a big booming voiceover, and some supers. But for this upcoming 6th season, they've been able to plumb all of last year's scenarios and set it to a cover of When You Walk in the Room by The Sports. Have a listen.
Last year, we sent some amazing people through this door.
Thank God you're here.
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 Why? What did I do?
None of them knew what to expect.
The tall one is funny.
But you know what? We're just getting started.
That dog has got my brioche. You need to tell him to stop smoking in there.
Oh, that's my scarf, actually. Thank you. That's the pay gap.
They're not mine.
Is it?
Look at me now.
I think I'm lost.
Oh, no.
How does $5,000 sound? Well, it would depend what year we're in.
Mate, if you're here, who's looking after the kids? Thank God You're Here is back. Wednesdays on 10 and 10 Play.
And that returns on Wednesday, August the 14th.
Excellent.
And do we know if we're going to get the sort of comedy legend judges again?
Oh, we don't know yet, do we?
Because, Tony Martin turned up as one of the
Yeah,
judges.
we haven't had any leaks from the audience tapings, have we?
Oh, well, we'll find out, I guess.
Thanks, Daniel. And Alison, I believe you've got something.
Yeah, so this slightly weird thing happened recently. Channel 7 released a sitcom that they made 5 years ago called Fam Time. I don't know if anyone here has watched it. I started watching a bit of it just out of curiosity of, what was going on 5 years ago. And, it's kind of interesting. It's a bit patchy and a bit weird. But anyway, it's an Australian comedy that's made it to television. So well done. That's a lot of the battle these days. But if you have a look at the credits, you might notice that one of the cast members of Frontline actually is credited for additional material. And that is Trudy Hellier, who plays Kate in Frontline. So there you go. And I didn't know that Trudy was a writer as well. And if you go on not Wikipedia, if you go on IMDb, you can actually see that she's got quite a lot of writing credits. So yeah, well done, Trudy Hellier, for finally getting your 5-year-old sitcom that you contributed to on air.
There we go. That's a nice obscure.
That is pretty obscure, but anyway, it does relate to Frontline.
Speaking of Frontline and even more obscurity, the whole I wouldn't say fiasco. It's more or less social media calling it a fiasco in regards to the horoscopes that are being shown on Channel 7 during the bulletins, the 6 p.m. bulletins.
Yeah, for all of 20 seconds.
Yeah. Guess who they are done by?
Ooh. I like to think Jeffrey Salter, but probably not.
or Dominica.
Yeah, no, Dom, she'd be amazing at doing the horoscopes.
That is right up her alley. It's actually done by Natasha Weber, who you may know her for the full 10 seconds that she appeared on Frontline for as the Desert Angel.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Astro Tash, her name is. And so she is an astrologer.
Wow.
My mum was actually telling me about those yesterday too, so she knows everything that's going on. Because
your mum is basically like
apparently it's very
human TikTok or something. She's like,
well, she seems to be hearing about everything before I do. But it's been a long time since I've watched Channel 7 News.
Yeah, it's
or any
it's
commercial
the
news,
sort of some of these ideas could have been dreamt up by Harry Shearer's character quite a few episodes ago. But they seem to have come in now that there's a new boss at 7 News. His name's Anthony DeSeglia. He used to run West Australian newspapers, which was part of Channel 7. So he's come from a newspaper background, and I think he seems to be putting in a lot of newspapery features in. Not just the horoscopes, but also a Friday Night Funny Man, to use another Frontlineism.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, Mark Humphreys, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? If he's going to put more newspaperism type things into the news, then I want my daily comic strips back in the paper and back on the news.
I'm looking
it would
forward
just
to
be a 10-second grab an image on the thing. Oh, look at you, Garfield. You get into the lasagna again. Or ginger megs.
I'm looking forward to the televised crossword.
It is getting to be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Calling the West Australian a newspaper is starting to stretch things a bit these days. It's on a bit of a decline and has been for some time.
I for one look forward to the odd spot coming soon to 7 News.
Yeah. Or maybe they should put in a column 8 type thing.
Yeah, a bit of gossip.
It's all in this week's TV Week, packed with great family entertainment.
Oh, Jesus!
It's Daniel Genie's program guide.
Okay, so we'll start with the ABC, and after Frontline, Four Corners and Media Watch, we've got Absolutely Fabulous yet again. Season 2, Episode 4 repeat, originally aired in the UK in February 1994, titled New Best Friend. Adina frantically organises her cluttered house in order to host old friends Bettina and Max, only to learn that they are now the hysterical, neurotic parents of a newborn baby. And later on, later on, they hear Adina and Max doing something over the baby monitor.
Come on. What if someone comes up though? What if someone comes? I don't care. Which catches us? It's so late actually. You have to with me, just with me. No, no, sit down, Max. I can't. It's so long since we did it. Is that it, darling?
Is that Radio 4?
So, yeah, if you didn't get that, they were having sex.
That joke's even funnier if you know what Radio 4 normally broadcasts as well. Anyway.
Yes, it's not usually that racy on Radio 4.
It's very much more your news and documentary type sort of programming. Yeah.
Over to Channel 7, we've got another repeater of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. This is Season 1, Episode 21, titled Barbarians at the Planet, and it aired in the US in May 94. Lex Luthor buys the Daily Planet Corporation and destroys the building via a planted bomb. Basically, yeah, the building's destroyed. Also, when Superman is unable to declare his love for Lois, she accepts Lex Luthor's marriage proposal.
Oh, I remember that episode, and boy, did it ruffle my feathers. I was so upset for Clark Kent.
Mm. So, yeah, that's it's also the first of a two-parter.
Yep, and I know what happens at the end of that
Is the second part involving her, like, turning up at the wedding in the dress and then suddenly Superman comes in and stops the wedding and sweeps her away? Is it that? Is it that plot?
Kind of, but spoiler alert, at the end of the two-parter, Lex Luthor falls off the building. He jumps off because Superman goes to do something. I can't exactly remember, but he falls to his death, and then later on in the series, he gets resurrected.
And I haven't looked that far ahead, so I don't know anyway.
Told you, spoiler alert.
So they don't end up married, is what you're saying?
No, not Lex and Lois, no.
No. Oh, well, that's good. Good to know.
Okay, moving over to Channel 9 now. At 8 o'clock, we've got Looking Good. Deborah Hutton presents a series featuring the latest in fashion trends, beauty, health and fitness. But before that, at 7:30, we've got another episode of Sybil.
Loving one who loves you and then taking back vows. Nice work.
Light and shade in that theme there. So it's Season 2, Episode 3, titled Since I Lost My Baby. And this aired, according to Wikipedia, very recently. Frontline tonight is on the 9th of October, and according to Wikipedia, it aired on the 1st of October. Same year.
In the United States, it aired on the 1st of October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, talk about fast tracking.
Yeah, wow.
Well, the other thing is that last episode they played, Channel 9 played Season 2, Episode 1. This is Season 2, Episode 3. So either the TV guide's wrong or they've completely skipped over Season 2, Episode 2. Anyhow, in the episode, Sybil and her best friend Marianne take Sybil's grandson William shopping, but when they return home, they find that there's something amiss.
What? Well, I'm not an expert in the area, but aren't boys usually supposed to have a penis?
That is not William. That's a girl.
Yeah, that was my take on it.
Oh my God, we must have taken the wrong stroller. Marianne, get in here now.
Problem?
Look at this.
Oh my, that is the worst circumcision I've ever seen.
So there we go.
You can really hear Christine Baranski, can't you? Her voice stands out.
She really does, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving over to something a bit more serious on SBS. Thankfully, it's not Nazi-related.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a bit overkill on the...
It's a soccer game.
It's boobs.
No, we haven't had any soccer up against Frontline, thank goodness. No, this is an episode of the BBC science documentary program Horizon.
So that would have been broadcasted on BBC 4.
I don't think
2,
BBC...
I think, probably.
Yeah, 2, because BBC 4 didn't exist in the 90s.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
Horizon's still going, by the way.
Okay, well, this one's season 31, episode 1, originally aired in November 1994, and it's called Deaf Whale, Dead Whale.
These are signals we believe are coming from the minke whale.
Using the system, civilian researchers are at last revealing the acoustic world of whales and dolphins.
Look at the similarities.
Yeah, and it's incredibly, the timing pattern's almost identical.
And they're discovering how noise pollution threatens that world.
So, yeah, human noise pollution is disturbing the complex sonar systems essential to a whale's survival, which does make me wonder whether we're helping or harming this situation with our podcast.
Oh, well, we've now got
We're
a whole
killing
bunch
them
of
all.
whale listeners.
They're all dead now. You know, they keep washing up on beaches. It's our fault. Sorry.
Maybe this is why we don't get 5-star ratings from any sea mammals.
Well, they're all coming from whales. The negative feedback.
All right, and on that piss poor joke of mine, let's go to Channel 10 and Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. So according to the listing, Jim Brown visits Tasmania's Port Arthur, and I'd like to remind you that it's 1995, not 1996. Okay?
Ooh.
Okay?
Yep.
Also, Lynn talks to dietitian Karen Enger about healthy lifestyles, and Ian cooks ricotta hotcakes and fruit on a tropical island. Therefore, I think cancelling each other out, I think.
His TikTok account is amazing. You really need to follow Huey on TikTok.
Oh, all right.
Because his whole TikTok thing is cooking for one and sometimes two. And it's really, really good.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much just, I don't have anybody in my life at the moment, so it's only going to be one. So, okay.
But if you guys meet up for dinner, you know, that's two.
That's sometimes two.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Eventually we've got to all be in the same room at some point. The episode also features bushwalking, a way to turn your trash into cash, how to tie tassels without hassles, and the best way to look after your car battery.
Oh, tying it up.
Yeah, don't put tassels on your car.
That's what you do to your car after the battery goes flat.
So, yeah, I mean, the other one is a way to turn your trash into cash. In 1995, that would have been the trading post, I think.
Not the fake Facebook marketplace.
Oh, no. So, plenty there if you don't want to watch Frontline, but we do want to watch Frontline, so let's get on with that.
Cool. All right, thank you very much, Daniel. All right, guess what, Jeff?
Yeah.
Since you're here, you're going to have to do the honours. Get ready to get your golden tonsils out. Do your best, Mike Moore. You know, sibilance and specious. Oh, foreshadowing.
Is that all on the auto cue?
Yeah. I'll count you in. 4, 3, 2, cue in.
Hello, I'm Jeff. This is Frontline Season 2, Episode 12. The Great Pretenders, broadcast Monday, October 9th, 1995.
Great stuff, Jeff!
Great work, Jeff. How do you feel?
I think I've done enough. I'm out of here.
All right, see you later. And welcome.
Hey, people wanted shorter episodes with less talk.
Yeah, that's true. Well, as Jeff has said, that this episode is The Great Pretenders, and the synopsis with this episode is that Mike is upset when a viewer accuses the show of being irresponsible. Meanwhile, Marty helps the killer to walk free. Now, this episode opens in a very different way, pretty much a story broadcasting on the 7:30 report with Kerry O'Brien, or the back of Kerry. Anyway.
No, Late Line, I would say.
Oh, yeah, it's Late Line, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it would be 7:30 report because I'm syncing that up with Full Frontal when he used to do 7:30 report, unless it was the year later.
Okay, so something I haven't mentioned looking through the program guides, but the announcement has just recently gone through. in early October 1995 that the state editions of the 7:30 report are going to be replaced by a national version.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was controversial. I remember back in
Yes,
Perth.
it was.
We didn't like that.
It
We didn't
was.
like that sort of thing.
Oh, we didn't like that in Adelaide either.
Okay.
No.
Well,
So
especially
yeah,
since
it's slightly before Kerry's time on 7:30.
yeah, well, our 7:30 report presenter went on to become the state premier after that. So maybe I could have kept
Oh,
him
well,
doing 7:30.
that's nice. Nice for them.
Good on them. Hooray. All right, so we'll go with Late Line. And with George Negus midway through his sentence explaining that the public will rely on current affairs television. And Sam agrees, explaining the high-quality procedures of story selections and the community safety. So, which kind of contradicts further on in this episode.
Yeah, and isn't it good to see George there? Like, because he was looking quite svelte from all of the power generating he's been doing.
Yes.
Riding that bike.
Yes, indeed. Now, we then cut to Marty bailing out a neo-Nazi from the courts.
Well, the thing is, we don't really know who he's bailing out at this stage. So you've spoiled it there, but
okay, I'll do it again.
I haven't watched it yet.
All right. We then cut to Marty bailing out at someone from the courts for an exclusive. But Marty needs the station lawyer to confirm the 30 grand that is needed.
What? You got him?
Almost. Just sign this.
Where is it?
Bail application, just there.
Well, where it says duly authorised legal representative.
You want to be here all night? Just make it illegible. Thank you.
And that was Stu signing away, forging someone's signature.
Who would have thought you could just scribble on a bit of paper and they just accept it?
Back in the office, Dom, Emma and Shelley are sorting out the viewer letters for Mike with the good and the bad piles before he arrives.
I've always enjoyed the responsible journalism of Frontline. However, last Thursday I was disappointed to see you resorting to a specious survey.
Put it in the good pile.
Is specious a good word?
No, but he's starting to get a bit suspicious. Sam thinks we should let him see one slightly critical letter each week.
I really enjoy the tactics that they use to try and keep the sort of Mike and Brooke and well, to a lesser extent Marty happy. But I mainly want to talk about the tree that is in Dom's hair at this stage.
Yes.
She has once again, there's some fabulous hairstyles and fashion accessories in this episode, and she has basically built a tree in her hair. It's really quite extraordinary.
I wasn't quite sure what it was, just because of the general crappiness of the film to video, video to film to video process, just making it crappy quality.
Yeah, it's hard to see the fine details of it, but it is still quite spectacular.
I really want to know who comes up with the designs of her hairstyles, because it is a work of art and it could have been at least nominated for Logies for best hairstyle or something. Yeah,
there isn't a Logie for hair and makeup, which is a shame because you've got Oscars for that, of course. But yeah, if I assume there probably are some awards, and I like to think that Dom's hairstyles won that year.
Oh, I don't know. I think it might have been beaten by Ray Martin's helmet hair, maybe.
You think?
Sorry, I should say People's Choice Awards, not Logies.
Well, yeah, they didn't really do like kind of crew awards in that either, really. I mean, there must be like some awards in Australian television where, you know, you could get an award for best camera work or best lighting or something. That must exist.
Oh, well, it probably isn't televised, so yeah. If it's not televised, yeah, it doesn't exist.
That is very true.
Sorry.
Yes. Mike also gets a message from Jackpot, the quiz show, inviting him to be on it as a celebrity contestant.
How excited was he that he actually had a message? It's like he's any messages and he just keeps walking. It's like, oh, what? There is a message.
That's kind of a running joke in the series, isn't it? That he never ever gets any messages, and yet you can contact him on a pager and on a mobile phone. Yeah.
You notice that he's lost his pager now? Like that pager is no longer He just doesn't have it at...
Can't even see the chunky mobile phone he had.
Yeah, well, that's so 1994. I did like too that they obviously have some sort of arrangement with the front desk that when Mike comes through, they phone through and let the office know that he's coming so they can hide all the bad letters and all those sorts of things,
Marty is dealing with the agent of Naylor, the neo-Nazi. There we go. So now we know.
Yes, we discover he's a neo-Nazi now because he's got this outfit that's like literally got a big swastika on it.
Daniel, the fact that you had been mentioning the program guide numerous times and...
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to give Naylor his theme song, we've got plenty of them from previous episodes.
Yeah, what do you want? Springtime for Hitler rap,
Heil,
Dad's
honey,
Army
I'm
theme.
home.
We got them all.
Yeah, you've got them.
Heil, honey, I'm home. Let's not play any of them.
Let's give it a rest.
Because the thing is, this guy, this guy's a real serious, not funny in any sense Nazi. He's a terrifying, scary Nazi. We don't like him at all.
But he's demanding, or his agent, he's demanding an appropriate remuneration.
Remuneration.
I know,
yeah,
I just realised that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's me advising
remuneration.
you.
Yes. I've got it written here. I've just said it incorrectly. I said at the beginning that I do say the wrong words. Jeez. I'm turning into Mike. So Mike is reading his letters and he starts to lose his shit.
Oh, please! Last Thursday, I was disappointed to see you resorting to a specious survey indicating violent crime rates are rising. There's no pleasing some people, is there? This scaremongering was irresponsible journalism at its worst. Specious!
Just ignore it, Mike. He would if he knew what it meant.
I know what it means. Easy for you to say. You don't have to read all this hate mail.
Mike, it was one bad letter.
Well, how do you know all the others were positive?
Well, were they?
Yes. I remember this story. It was, we did one of those 0055 phone polls, and we said,
are you frightened?
Are you frightened about the spiralling rate of violence? Do you know how many said yes?
98%.
98%. You can't get much more unspecious than that.
I love that his reaction is out of all proportion to the one bad letter he got. Like, imagine how he would have been with something 10 times as worse, you know?
If he'd seen the real letters, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have to admit, though, too, that if not for this episode of Frontline, I would not know what specious meant. I'd sort of get the idea. But I'd be like, I don't know exactly what that word means, but I know what they're sort of saying. You know?
Well, that's the beauty of it.
Well, there's a bit where Dom actually reads it out from the dictionary. I don't know if you've got the clip of that.
I don't think she reads it. I think she just... she's apparently smarter than Mike.
I just assumed that she'd looked it up earlier because she didn't know either, and then so when Mike's looking it up, she's already read it.
Yeah, because she says in the clip... Yeah, she doesn't know what it means earlier, and then she reads out, like, basically a dictionary definition.
Yeah, and I just figured at some time in the meantime she'd looked it up herself because she didn't know what it was either.
Yeah, well, she must have done.
Well, the show prep time and the team needs to work out how to get the neo-Nazi 25 grand, even though the show had already paid the 30 grand to bail him out. Brooke has a story about a doctor who thinks vaccinating kids can be dangerous. No, it is not 2024.
Yes, very topical.
Oh, and also I like that everybody applauds when Brooke says she's got a story.
Yeah.
It's
wow.
It's it is slightly patronising.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the background, Miking is looking for a dictionary.
Anorexic girl survived the disease, happy to come on and talk.
Great. Good. There you go. I'd like to invite this goose into our production meeting, see how we really work. Anorexia, serious issue, we're going to highlight it. If that's not responsible journalism, that guy needs a dictionary.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think that'll be all for today.
Specious. Oh, that can't be right.
Superficially plausible, but actually wrong.
Yeah. That's the bit I'm talking about.
And Dom is right because did you know that you can find out any meaning of a word by just putting the word define and then the word into Google?
Yeah, I don't think that's how Dom did it though.
No. But it does. It says that word for word in the Google definition as well. Superficially plausible, but actually wrong.
Dom would have had to go GeoCities or AltaVista.
Usenet.
With her Netscape browser.
Usenet dictionary group.
Alt dot dictionary
dot specious.
Nerd. Yes.
Yeah, I like to think there was a news group that was just people giving dictionary definitions of words.
Well, there might well have been. I saw some news groups back in those days that covered a lot of topics.
Yeah.
Mike rants to Jeffrey about the letter, though.
I mean, you try and provide a community service, Jeffrey Salt.
Yeah.
You try.
Exactly. You try.
People are all over you like a rash.
Yeah, but if you try telling that to our legal department,
What do you mean?
hey, my pollen count.
Yeah.
On the weather report.
Yeah.
I've got to drop it. That's a community service that I've got to get rid of. Yeah. Well, according to our new hotshot lawyer.
A new lawyer?
Yeah. She says that asthmatics could sue us if
has
they
the world
relied...
gone mad, Jeffrey
that's
Salter?
right. I thought she was nitpicking, but no, she insists that there's some US precedent and she wants to be safe and she...
Jeff, back to the letter. We were talking about the letter.
Sorry.
Fewer pollen counts, more horoscopes.
Do you reckon... Yeah. Do you reckon people can sue if the horoscope's wrong? Is that going to happen? Because, I'm going to sue them if they get it wrong.
Well, I love the fact that horoscopes, they have a star rating for the day as well. So you look at that and you go...
That's in case you can't read. At least you know out of the star ratings whether it's going to be a good day or bad day.
Well, because of the whole network outage across the world, was that in the horoscopes?
Yeah. Didn't see that one coming.
Wasn't.
No.
Apparently that 6:57 news thing still made it to air somehow. I didn't watch it, but apparently it went to air.
Sam tells Kate to ditch the anorexic woman story as she's a little bit healthier now. However, with the anti-vax story...
How's Brooke going with that, that vaccination guy?
It's a bit dodgy. He's a bit of a kook.
Well, he is a doctor.
No, he's a naturopath. He's got no formal medical training.
Well, he's raising a legitimate concern. Are vaccinations dangerous?
But surely this is not...
I'm not a doctor.
Well, neither's he.
Well, we'll get both sides.
There aren't sides, just one quack versus the World Health Organization.
Well, that's sides.
By giving him equal time, we imply that the debate is evenly matched. We're creating concern over nothing. Yes, Sam.
You have a child. Do you love it?
With all my heart.
Tonight on Frontline, could a vaccination kill your child? What show do you watch?
Frontline.
And what do we want people to do?
Watch Frontline.
And what story are we going to run tonight on Frontline?
Vaccinations, both sides of this controversial and evenly matched debate.
Gee, thank you, Em.
Better get home to my kids.
Again, it's not 2024. This is all 1995.
Yeah, it's like I think of vaccine skepticism as like relating to Andrew Wakefield, which was kind of late 90s, early noughties when he got going. But then I sort of thought, well, sure, this is weird because they're talking about it earlier than that. And then I Wikipedia'd this, and like people have been skeptical of vaccines since vaccines have existed, basically. So it's not, none of this is new.
But it's thanks to social media and just the connection of everything else like that. And just that old chestnut, but that's not what this podcast is about.
Yeah, I mean, that's Andrew Wakefield is only famous because of the internet, essentially.
Yep.
Also, the fact that the naturopath is just asking questions, just raising concerns.
Yeah, do your own research, guys.
He didn't
say that. I'm sure
he's got his own Telegram channel now.
Yes,
personally, I don't think you should be raising questions, unless you can also raise the answer.
Interesting thoughts there.
Well, you should, if you're concerned about something, you should present solid evidence. And this naturopath is like, oh, this feels bad or something.
Just a question.
I don't know.
Or present faked evidence, that one or the other.
Yeah. There's that too.
I could go on about this for a long time, so move on.
Yep.
Tangent. No tangents.
All right. Now, Sam doesn't want Mike to appear on Jackpot. And, poor him. And we meet the new network lawyer, Elizabeth Holst, who walks in. And that is actually played by Genevieve Pico. Yeah. So you may know her from the TV movie Good Vibrations.
No.
But the movie Proof with Hugo Weaving? Yeah, she was in that. So she an award-winning
Proper actress.
fully proper. So
Yep.
yeah,
Mick Malloy was in that, wasn't he? Wasn't that one where he blinded Hugo Weaving when he?
Yes.
The Three Stooges thing.
Wasn't
and he cut his
originally
hand up?
meant to be blind? Yes.
Yeah.
Very deep late show cut.
hold on.
Go on.
Hold on.
Deep
Hold
cut
on.
there.
Well
there
done.
we go.
Yeah.
That's the sort of quality material you brought me on for.
Yes, definitely.
Yep, that's what this what the Champagne Comedy podcast is all about. She's replaced Sam's mate Eddie, who's been moved to Adelaide. Sorry, Danielle.
Oh, they're always moved to Adelaide. This is like, okay, Tom Gleisner, he hates Adelaide. What has Adelaide done to you, Tom?
Oh, they got good iced coffee.
Like it is pretty cold in Adelaide at the moment. I can attest to that. But it's not Siberia.
It feels like it's Tom Gleisner's Siberia, though, Adelaide.
Well, most of the soaps, if they want to make sure you're really not coming back, they send you to Perth.
Yeah, if there is a city which cops it worse than Adelaide, I would say it may be Perth.
A farm in Perth.
Yeah, there's a lot of farms in Perth.
Yeah.
Well known for it being a city.
Well then, so she rattles off a few legal issues with some of Frontline's stories, and much to Sam's dismay, everything has to go through her before it goes to air. So crossed her T's and...
That scene, there's like, you can just feel like Sam's misogyny towards her. It's so...
Well, there is one small exchange where Sam calls Elizabeth Liz, and she rebuffs him, no, Elizabeth.
Yes.
And you kind of realise where each of them stand.
Yeah, they're never going to be friends.
Yeah, it's a power play. No, it is a power play, but there's an undercurrent of misogyny in it that is just, well, accurate, but not fun to watch.
Well, we see Brooke's story about stranger danger. I've called it that because that was the easiest way to summarise this whole bit.
Yeah.
With Brooke chatting to her mother about the trust of her child until she realises her child has been led away from a park by a stranger, which is Frontline's actor. So it's a bit of a setup, and what's his name? Hugh calls Brooke
evil.
Yeah, Hugh. Yes, he goes, "You're evil."
Brooke just walks away with a smirk on her face.
I think Hugh knows.
Yeah, because
Hugh knows
evil.
that's a good story too. That's exactly what she wanted, and yeah.
Mike confronts Sam about the neo-Nazi story, among other things.
Sam, this Nazi we're interviewing, is it responsible, morally accountable, of rational conduct, responsible? Is it responsible to pay a criminal?
Alleged criminal, Mike. He hasn't been convicted of anything.
Yeah, but I mean...
No. To say we're paying a convicted criminal, that's just a knee-jerk response. That's the sort of thing that people write letters to you about.
Don't I?
Yeah. Well, I've spoken to Margie, and we think he's innocent.
Really?
If it costs us 25 grand to prove that, what price freedom, Mike?
Sure, absolutely. We're not paying a criminal.
No. Knee-jerk.
Everyone is knee-jerk, aren't they? I know. Oh, one more thing. Celebrity jackpot.
No.
Why? That was knee-jerk.
Well, at least Mark's making good use of his dictionary while he's got it out.
Definitely. The criminal.
Now, also, just quickly, okay, so Sam says we're not paying a criminal, alleged or otherwise. Isn't there a thing like a proceeds of crime kind of thing where they can't, like media organisations can't pay...
They can't capitalise
people for their interviews because it might be considered a proceed of crime?
There is now, but I don't know if that was around back then or not.
Also, he's not been convicted of anything, so he's not technically a criminal. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I need to read my dictionary more.
Now, Elizabeth discovers that Stu has forged her signature on the bail document. She is not happy at all.
Fair enough.
Stands her
Fair
ground
enough.
again. Yeah, doing her job. Now, Emma calls out Brooke's stranger danger story. Again, I've called it that. Basically calling it a fact sheet on how to kidnap children. But Sam disagrees.
Let's put this to bed once and for all right? Who do we have a responsibility to?
The viewers?
To the shareholders of the network to provide them with good ratings.
But if something is completely irresponsible...
If we can get away with it, fine. Look, the day that balanced, well-informed discussion of serious issues rates, I will be the first one to start providing it. Until then, it's Nazis, freaks and killer vaccinations.
And kidnaps.
Look, Mike will nod at the end of the story and say something like, let there be a lesson to all parents that an act of irresponsible journalism becomes a community service.
Certainly a warning for all parents. Brooke Vandenberg there. Now, coming up after the break, could a simple vaccination kill your child?
Jeez, the whole thing just sounded like they were talking about Twitter before it existed.
Yeah.
But pretty much it sums up what the whole Frontline TV show is about, though. And the whole, however many episodes, it's three seasons, that's really it, is that it's not about information or news or whatever. It's about putting whatever you can get away with to get the ratings.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And then, what is it? Shoot first, ask questions later. Or put it out there and then get the, smacked hands. And it's like, oh, sorry, we won't do it again. And then move on.
Yeah, because that is a really strong point that Sam makes about who they have a responsibility to. Because, basically the point of any commercial media, is not about the content they put out. That's just a bonus. It's about making as much money as you can through the medium of advertising, and the stuff that's between the ads is meant to keep you there for the ads.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's it.
Any commercial TV station, any commercial radio station, it's just there to sell advertising. Everything else is a bonus.
Look at you go, Daniel. I'm impressed.
I don't often get philosophical.
No, but that was a great explanation.
Brooke's got a story flaws?
No. I mean that sincerely. That was a great explanation.
Honestly, we get one negative comment that we go off on tangents, and then suddenly we're like, Kerry O'Brien's Late Line or something. Proper intellectual discussion of Frontline here.
Yeah. Wow, we really got the sink the slipper done to us.
Yeah.
All right, so no, seriously, that was good.
It was good.
The next day, Elizabeth breaks down the upcoming stories, highlighting the issues, but Sam calls out the wording to get out things legally.
No, well, she'd done it previously as well. Like, she does several scenes where she talks about, in this one, she talks about how Frontline can't refer to Alan Bond as a bankrupt as his debt was discharged, right? And then they talk about there's going to be a story about a fruiterer with alleged mafia connections, which just made me think of Colin the Fruiterer, except he was Greek. So unless there's a Greek mafia that I'm not aware of, it's probably not him. And then Elizabeth gets worried that Mike's comments aren't scripted. I mean, they are scripted, but they're not. But the thing is, they're not sending Elizabeth the script because she's asked to see all the scripts. So,
because apparently Mike just ad-libs this all off the top of his head,
Yeah.
It's not a script, it's just a guide.
Yeah.
No,
that's right.
As you point out, Jeff, he says, is it all on the auto cue at the start of every episode?
Just on that last scene too, did you see what was on this, the monitors in Sam's office?
Pedantry. Is that pedantry?
More train spotting than pedantry, but
Yeah.
There's the monitors that Emma's sitting underneath, and two of the three of them have got the Muppet Show playing, and I don't know what's on the other one in between.
Wow.
No, I was more distracted by Emma's little laugh there at Sam's little bankrupt or West Australian businessman, same thing quip.
Yes.
Well, that was an old D-Gen favourite too. They'd gone back to the 80s when they had something about the Perth Festival of Millionaires or something, or it was all the Christopher Skase and all those people when they were still millionaires.
It's a bit like West Australian businessman is a bit like colourful racing identity, isn't it? Everyone knows that's referring to a dodgy person, but it's a nice
certainly
way of
back
doing
at that time it was,
Yeah.
Gold Coast identity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Member of the Adelaide Club. There's definitely an implication there. Alexander Downer, basically. Anyway, move on.
Yeah, move on. Tangent.
Yeah, we need a tangent.
Oh, well.
Maybe we don't. Maybe that's a tangent. I don't know. I don't know where I am anymore.
Is this a podcast? I've got no idea anymore.
No.
Jackpot are still chasing down Mike to appear on the show, and Sam tells them to piss off, basically.
He literally does tell them to piss off.
Yeah. Mike arrives in the office, though.
Hey, Dom.
Hi, Mike. Good show last night.
Oh, thanks,
You know
yeah.
that kidnapping story? It was so scary. My little cousin Slobberdarn's not allowed to go to the park on his own anymore now. And Asunta, she told her doctor that she doesn't want the twins vaccinated because it's dangerous.
Oh, well, that's the good thing about current affairs, Dom. You can alert people to the dangers. Is that my mail, sir?
Yeah, here you go.
Let's hope they're a bit more positive today.
They are.
Well, let me be the judge of that.
Oh, poor Slobodan. He can't go to the park.
He's not allowed to go to the park on his own anymore, so it reminds us that back in those days, the kids were allowed to go to the park on their own, and I don't think they are anymore.
No, they're definitely not. It's very rare that you see kids out without parents these days.
Back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. Back in our day, we'd be off on our own doing all sorts of things. Bit sad, really.
Yeah. I didn't have to come home until the gas lamps got lit.
You're not that old.
It is WA, so.
Yeah.
I can only say that because I'm in Adelaide. You know, we got electricity only 5 years before Perth.
Yeah.
I do also like how the writers have basically installed Dom as a proxy for the average viewer there.
Yeah.
Basically doing what Frontline wanted.
Yeah. Whilst wearing a pom-pom crown in this particular
Yeah, well, I was
scene.
going to ask what on earth is that about? I can't even tell what's in her hair in that one.
Yeah, I'm going
looks
to
like
go with
lollipops to me, but,
pom-pom crown is what I'm going with, but
be.
send in your own interpretation.
She's got the pom-poms around her collar or her shirt that she's wearing too, so maybe.
Tell you one thing, though. Her hairstyles are great for any upcoming, say, Halloween parties you could attend or whatever. So just wicked costumes, or, when you have to dress up as your favourite thing, and you can go as an obscure character from an Australian TV series.
Yes, if you do attend a Halloween party as Dom with the tree hair or whatever, just send in a picture so we can enjoy that.
Yeah, you won't get a prize, no packet of fake Tim
Oh no, they
Tams.
will. They'll get the fictional Tim Tabs.
All right. Sam tells Marty that they can't pay the neo-Nazi because Elizabeth is signing the checks, so they have to come up with another plan. Now, this is where it starts getting smart.
Yeah. This
really,
is clever.
This is the big. This is all clever. From here, it is like a roller coaster of awesomeness.
Yeah,
because you have no idea. This is how intelligent and witty that this writing is.
And speaking of roller coaster rides, we get another scene in Jeff's office.
Yes.
Yeah, again. So double the Jeffrey Salter, shaking the Salter. All right, Mike and Jeffrey are talking fan mail, and Jeff's positive and negative mail is 50-50, but Jeff is studying up to be on Jackpot as well.
What's with the trivia book? Oh, Jackpot have asked me to be on the celebrity quiz. I'm just boning up on... What?
They asked me too.
Great, we're going to be on together.
Sam said no.
What?
Not appropriate for a current affairs presenter.
Sam said... Our news director thought it was a great idea.
Really?
Yeah, cross-promotion, shows we're human.
Yeah, if only Sam would see it like that.
Demonstrates we're not just empty-headed TV presenters. Unless, of course, Sam's worried that... What? Nothing.
I love that.
Yes, it's such a timid little nothing. Brilliant.
Where's Prue should have been on this episode because she would have absolutely loved that.
Yeah. But like we said last episode, Jeff knows his place in the hierarchy of TV stars, and he knows that he's below Mike, and so he has to suck up to Mike to maintain their coffees.
I would love to just have a coffee with, just to be, if you could just be placed in a TV show, just to have a coffee with those two, and not to say anything, just to be
on
in
the wall.
presence.
Like we're talking about shows that could come back. We should have a Jeff and Mike spin-off. Just them.
Oh, they can have their own YouTube channel type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a podcast. All right. Now, Mike lays it on the line to Sam that he wants to do Jackpot. He doesn't get any prize money, though the winner will get an Audi A8. Classy.
Nice car.
Advancement through technology. Now, Marty walks in saying a current affair is sniffing around the neo-Nazi, and Sam has an idea and lets Mike go on Jackpot. Ooh, the plot thickens.
Ooh.
Marty, shut the door.
Yeah, that's it. That's the sign. It's always the shut the door. Emma gives Mike an envelope that apparently contains all the answers to the jackpot questions, but Mike refuses to open it.
Good for him.
Because he is smart after all.
Good for him.
Yeah. This is where he kind of is. This is what he really wants to be a part of, yet, still trying to work out who the New Zealand Prime Minister is.
He does get it right at the very end of the scene. Once Emma's walked away, he goes, Bolger? And I looked it up, and it was Jim Bolger.
Yeah, Jim Bolger.
1990 to 1997. Do you know who the New Zealand Prime Minister before Jim Bolger was?
David Lange, was it?
No, it was Mike Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, really?
He was the Prime Minister up until 1990. I don't know how long he was there for, but I looked up the list of New Zealand Prime Ministers, and there he was. And I think Mike actually mentions that in an episode somewhere along the way. I can't remember which one, but there is one where in passing he just says, oh, yeah, the Prime Minister of New Zealand was Mike Moore. I think it's when Marty's hassling sometime about something he's done and saying, who's this Mike Moore? And he's going, there's lots of Mike Moores.
So there you go. There's an Easter egg for you.
But as Emma's walking away, he does get the question right. So it took him a little while, but he did get it.
I also like how there seems to be maybe a bit of hesitation as to whether he wants to open it or not, because he asks Emma, is it all the questions or just round one? Which makes me think if Emma had said round one instead of all of them, he might have had a bit of a peek if it was just round one. Just to give him a bit of a head start, maybe.
It's very well written, though, isn't it? That it definitely makes you believe that there's no way he's not opening that envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he's going to have a look.
Marty gets his story with the neo-Nazi as a deal has been made, but we don't know what type of deal. It's just a deal's been made. And Emma tells Sam that Mike will be competing against Tiffany Flynn from Sunshine Cove, which is the soap opera, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or
it's the soap opera.
Show that's
it's the Home and Away, I think, isn't it, basically? Is that the one it's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's right. That's the one where Mike has got friends on the show.
That's right.
Yeah. And the weather guy, which is Jeffrey Salter. So Sam realises Mike could lose against Jeff, and he comes up with a cunning plan, or a replacement, I should say.
Shut the door again.
Shut the door.
Yeah.
You've had an idea.
I'll shut the door.
Oh, that evil laugh. You've got to clip that evil laugh. That's beautiful. Oh, mate, that's gorgeous.
And so, next scene we get, we find out what the solution is to try and fix the game, as it were. Which it's unfortunately to the detriment of Jeff, who doesn't get his time behind the podium.
Nothing. Sorry.
Behind the buzzer?
Now to Jackpot. Yeah. We see an episode of Jackpot hosted by an unnamed person, but it is Greg Evans.
Our first contestant tonight, Greg, is the king of cartoon crazies, Wacko the Chook.
G'day, Wacko. How's it going? Always heaps of fun. Who's Wacko playing for tonight, Kerry?
Well, Wacko's playing for Bettina Grisman of Rose Bay.
Fantastic.
And next up, we have the star of Sunshine Cove, Tiffany Flynn.
G'day, Tiffany. Welcome to the show. How's things in Sunshine Cove?
Good, thanks, Greg.
Still going out with that surfie, are you?
Well, let's just say Grunter and I are good friends.
Right.
Grunter.
And who's Tiffany playing for tonight, Kerry?
Tiffany's playing for Mrs. Dawn Perlman of Kununurra. And finally, on the celebrity panel tonight, it's welcome to Mike Moore from Frontline.
G'day, Mike. How's it going?
Fantastic, thanks, Greg. And I might say that I've got my trigger finger tonight.
Ah, good for you. And who's Mike playing for tonight, Kerry?
Mike is playing for Gavin Hearn of North Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Yeah, North Adelaide.
I'm
North
wondering if
Adelaide's
that's
a bit,
another coded
bit posh.
reference. Oh, very posh.
North Adelaide, you got to have a bit of money to live there. So, anyway.
Well, and if you haven't noticed, Tiffany Flynn from Sunshine Cove is sports commentator and presenter Tiffany Cherry.
Ah.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Who ends up on The Nation, Mick Malloy's show
Ah.
further down the track as a sports commentator.
The other thing we learnt on that thing is whichever fictional channel that Frontline's on, it must be affiliated with GWN in WA, because that's the only way Dawn Perlman from Kununurra could be watching Jackpot. Because if she's living in regional WA in the 90s, she's got 2 channels to watch. She's got the ABC and she's got GWN.
That is
I spent a few years.
Yeah.
I spent a few years living regionally in the 90s, and that was your 2 choices. GWN was probably sort of 80% Channel 7. But, yeah, that was it. GWN and the ABC, and that was all you got.
Wow.
Wow.
All I was thinking was poor Bettina Gruzman getting Wacko the Chook.
Yeah.
The thing that doesn't speak as their
Oh, come on, it's
as
got a
the person
hooter.
playing for them.
Wacko's got a hooter?
Yeah.
What more do you
Unless
want?
Wacko is able to answer in Morse code, it's of fuck all use.
The fact that every time he does that, he's spelling out fuck with a horn.
Well,
we might need a Morse code expert to verify that, but yeah.
Now, also, the other thing which I'm sure we're all wondering, who do you reckon is in the Wacko suit?
Oh, that would have been probably Tom Gleisner. Or
I'm going to choose to believe it was Tom Gleisner.
Yeah, me too.
Now, funny you say that, because I did have a look at the end credits, and Tom Gleisner is listed in the credits.
Oh, wow.
So
I guess
unless any of you spotted his,
I had a good look for Colin Conacher, but he wasn't there.
No Conacher.
I would say that there is a very good chance that it's Tom in the Wacko suit.
Wow.
fantastic.
I think we'll just call that fact from now on.
Yeah.
Wow, he would give Shirley a run for his
Until
money.
he steadfastly denies it on have you been paying attention.
Yep.
Come on,
Come
come
on,
on,
Tom.
prove it wasn't you. I've never seen
Yeah.
Tom and Wacko in the same room together.
Yeah.
Oh, have Wacko on as a guest quizmaster. I'm just sorry, I'm just picturing it now. It comes on. All right, Wacko. So read this question.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to get Kerry, the hostess, who is the spit of Nikki Buckley, of course, to help Wacko out, I think, in that scenario.
Well, Elizabeth calls Sam into her office. She's working a little late and a little buzzed.
Yeah, she's had about half a bottle of white wine by the looks of things, at least.
From Adelaide, from the vineyards.
Well, there'll be more Adelaide references coming up soon.
Maybe it was a present from Ernie in Siberia.
Yeah, I love.
Well, she's seen the neo-Nazi interview and wonders how they've paid him without her knowledge, but Sam claims charm, but won't reveal how he's done it. So the plot thickens here.
Yeah, Sam sees his opportunity.
Yep. And she drops a glass at the same time as well, just to demonstrate how pissed she is. Like, drunk, not pissed off, just pissed.
It's the international symbol of drunkenness.
That or the press club. Now, Sam then... sorry, that's...
Allegedly.
Sorry, way to... allegedly. Sam then asks Marty for a favour to ask a friend from traffic operations who owes Marty a favour.
For not doing a corruption story for a year.
Yeah, thank you. Where's he leading to this, though? So, again, the plot is thicker than cream now. Now, Mike is killing it on Jackpot, though.
Which King of England was executed in 1649?
King Wally Lewis.
That is the question. With which of the arts do you associate Lord Byron?
Kickboxing. Poetry.
Right.
Sorry.
Not that one.
Not that one.
What was the answer to the question before last? Jane?
Papadum.
No, life.
Sorry, not that one either. Hold on, let me get the right one.
The American Music Industry Awards are known as Mike.
Grammys.
Correct. What is the official language of Mexico? Mike.
Spanish.
Correct. What do we call someone who keeps bees? Tiffany.
Beekeeper.
No, I'm sorry, we can't exactly accept that. Anyone else like to have a go? Wacko, you haven't said much. But you've certainly kept us entertained. Yeah, Mike.
Apiarist.
Yes, correct. Who wrote The First Stone? Mike.
Helen Garner.
Correct. What star sign is represented?
Killed them. I knew Mike was smart.
I think he may have had a little assistance.
What?
Marty.
I love the fact that Mike raised his hands to answer
really
the question.
timidly.
Yeah.
So much for the trigger finger. It's like, apiarist.
I think Tiffany got ripped off there. Beekeeper should have got the points. Really, I think that's an acceptable term.
Yeah, or they should have said Jason Statham. So two. Alison, I believe you have a bit of
pedantry. I do have some pedantry. So in the scene where Sam is getting Marty to get to get help from the police, underneath that, you can hear Jackpot going on. And there's a question that Greg Evans reads out. And the question is, in fact, wrong. And so the question is basically, the answer to the question is it's Freudian slip, and it refers to Sigmund Freud as a German psychologist. Now, can anyone tell me what the two things wrong with that are?
I'm going to go on a limb and say he's not German.
Correct. But do you know what his nationality is?
No idea. I didn't know he wasn't German until you just brought it up.
No, you see, like I was getting philosophical before. I've got no idea about the history of Freud. So
okay, well, shall I give you the answer? So Sigmund Freud was not a German psychologist. He was in fact an Austrian psychoanalyst. Hit me with pedantry again.
Wow. All right. You know what? We've already used one, and we'll use the pedantry.
Yeah, disco pedantry.
Disco pedantry. Love it.
So there you go.
Top and tail pedantry.
Well spotted.
Yep. All the other questions on Jackpot are correct or accurate questions, but that one I went, hang on, he wasn't German. And then it went from there.
Are we also supposed to believe that Jackpot goes out live?
Good point.
Yeah, that's not true.
But yeah, I suppose. Yeah, okay. So yeah, for the sake of convenience, it's gone out live. But yeah, very well spotted, and I think very very pedantic. So thanks for hitting us with your pedantry.
No worries.
Yes. Thank you, pedantry Bedentar.
I wanted to know what questions Tiffany got her 20 points from as well, because she must have got something. Because Wacko had 0 and she had 20, so she must have got something ahead of Mike somewhere along the way.
Something pop cultural, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be. Or maybe fashion related, who knows?
Sam's favour through Marty gets locked in. Now, Mike does win the game.
Tell me, Kerry, what has Mike won for his home contestant?
Mike's home contestant, Gavin Hearn, has won a fully automatic Audi A8 sedan.
Congratulations, Gavin. You've won the new innovative and stylish Audi A8, featuring revolutionary body technology.
And you know who that was voiced by?
I had another look at the credits, so I'm going to let you say it.
Laughing Ed Phillips.
Yay, Laughing Ed Phillips.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they managed to get these people in. Obviously, they loved having the shit kicked out of them on the Late Show.
And you know what, though? When this episode was broadcast in October 1995, guess what was broadcast only a few months beforehand on the show that they were making a mockery of?
On sale.
Yeah, on Sale of the Century. Guess what the main prize was? And guess who voiced it?
This showstopper Audi 80 2.6e Quattro is really going to light up your life. With its superb 2.6-litre engine, this magnificent vehicle also features permanent four-wheel drive to take the roughest road in its stride. Featuring ABS brakes, power steering, and an electric sunroof, the Audi 80 2.6e Quattro will keep you in the spotlight. It's valued at $64,015 plus on-road costs. Audi, advancement through technology.
Yeah.
Pete Smith, what a master.
Yep.
They don't make them like that these days.
Oh, no.
No. $68,000.
Yeah.
How much is that today? That's the same price it would be today. It's a standard
Yeah, because
car.
imported cars had a lot of tax on them back then, didn't they? And they don't now. They're a lot cheaper, I think, aren't they?
I'm just looking up an Australian inflation calculator, which hopefully there is one in
the 90s, you had to be rich to have like a BMW or one of those European cars, you know? Normal people like us would be driving around in Holdens or Toyotas or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah, had a
Fords.
Tirana.
Yeah.
Okay, what was it? 64,000?
64,000, yeah. Give or take.
Okay, so 64,000 in 1995 dollars.
Because that snippet was from an episode of Sale of the Century in July 1995.
Okay, so it's equivalent to $133,218.46 in 2024 money.
Oh, church change if you're from WA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a price for a current Audi, but can't find one.
Yeah, just wondering how much just a regular car is these days.
Okay, the 2024 A4 sedan from Audi starts at $41,900.
Oh.
Oh.
So the price has gone down.
Well then, so the next day the ratings are in, and it's a winner. The story, that is, not the, not anything else, but you know.
Figures for our neo-Nazi story. 30.
Hey, Marty. Well done.
30.
Whoa! Just a pity our network lawyer won't be around to share a drink with us.
Isn't that amazing? I've never heard of a police booze bus being set up right outside this station. How unlucky!
Incredible, Dom, as if somebody phoned the cops and told them to put one there.
Yeah!
What, so she's been sacked?
Worse. Moved to Adelaide.
Wow.
One more little boot in.
The network legal team in Adelaide must be like overstuffed, because how much can there be going on in Adelaide? I say this is a person from Adelaide.
Too many.
I know there's not a lot of TV activity in the 90s there, you know?
And then we get this lovely little reveal in the middle of this scene.
Yeah, where it is revealing that Mike does arrive in the office with a celebratory response to winning jackpot. He gives Emma the unopened envelope of answers.
And Mike gets a hug from Emma.
That is very heartwarming, and it's like, oh,
for providing the one redeeming act in the office this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aw.
It's like Mike grew a brain, which is amazing. Well, sorry, brains.
Well, he knows a lot of
it's a whole
facts.
thing.
I don't know that he's a smart guy necessarily, but he's memorized a lot of facts. So,
But it's like this nice little happy ending, wraps it all up nicely.
And then there's an even happier ending when we see the Nazi.
Yeah.
Well,
congrats to Marty, though.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And let's congratulate Marty on an excellent interview. Yeah.
Boy, he looked a creepy guy, didn't he? Hey, how'd you talk him into the interview?
Sam worked something out.
Oh, good, because I never felt comfortable about paying.
Yeah, and that's when we discover when Mike got a pen for being on Jackpot, the home viewer got the Audi A8, revealing that the Audi A8 winner was the neo-Nazi.
Looking so happy in his German car.
yes, driving down St Kilda Road by the looks of things as well.
See, even though, now, this is where I am, it's a little bit loose.
Pedantry.
But at the beginning, right, when Marty's talking to the lawyer, or the agent, and they do mention that the neo-Nazi's name is Naylor, right?
Yeah, we never find out whether that's his first name or his last name.
Well, even though that's the name for the contestant, the home viewer, is not at all Naylor, right?
Yep.
No, well either there may have been a real Gavin Hearn who's just not getting their Audi, or it might have just been a pseudonym for Naylor, basically.
Well,
a fake
here's
name.
the other thing I was thinking of, and Alison kind of backed me up unintentionally. When Gavin Ahern is from North Adelaide, where you have to have a bit of money,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Well, who has a bit of money with the neo-Nazi? The agent. So Gavin Ahern
Might be the name of the agent.
Would have been the agent, yes.
Yes.
Not a bad
There we
theory.
go.
Yeah. But why is he a North Adelaide resident representing a Melbourne-based Nazi?
Well, obviously, he's like the Max Markson of agents.
Yeah,
So he
maybe
just
he's got
flies
his
around.
Maybe he's got his St Kilda house and he's got his North Adelaide house.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
not
he
just
has
North
an
Adelaide
apartment
house.
on the Gold Coast. You know, just wherever he needs to be. Maybe if he just needs to flee the city for a little while for some unknown reason.
Or a farm in Perth.
I was thinking about overthinking this episode way too much today. And I was along similar lines thinking, obviously Sam and the EP of Jackpot have had to collude a bit to get this home viewer for Mike. In which case, if they're colluding on it anyway, why does it matter who wins Jackpot? If they're bodging, faking up who's getting the prize and just putting false names on, then anybody could win Jackpot and the car can still go to the Nazi if you're rigging it anyway.
Oh wow, that is
because the EP of Jackpot must be involved. He must be involved because they've had to rig it to a certain extent. So make it even easier and say whoever wins, put some names on the screen, but whoever wins, this is where the car is going.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah, but that's just overthinking a TV show, and I would like to apologise to everyone listening for doing that.
But there's plenty of stories of people. There's plenty of stories of people who work in the media, and whatever their show is offering a prize, and they make sure that they win, or someone on the production team actually wins the cool prize rather than a genuine member of the public. That happens. There are enough anecdotes that I've heard that happens quite frequently. So, it's a scam, isn't it? It's a whole scam.
It's definitely plausible. It's probably just not very pleasing in terms of story, really.
Yeah, well, that's right. It wouldn't work as a story. So yeah, it was only, as I say, overthinking this way more than it really should be overthought. But I do feel sorry for poor old Dawn Perlman in Kununurra that she just never had a chance.
Yeah, she got ripped off.
Well, that concludes Frontline Season 2, Episode 12, and the Champagne Comedy Podcast, Episode 65. Oh, wait a minute, this feels weird. We've actually finished on time and properly. So
maybe we shouldn't go off on tangents all the time. Maybe the feedback was right.
Again, we agree with that. So, thank you. So, by all means, if you like our long-form podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at email champagnelateshow@gmail.com. Check out this episode show notes for our socials, as well as search for the Champagne Comedy Podcast group on Facebook and follow us on goodpods.com.
Yeah, look, recommend our podcast out there. Whether it's on Reddit or Good Pods, just make sure you don't recommend it to any whales.
Or Nazis. Don't recommend it to
or lawyers in Adelaide.
Yeah.
There seem to be a lot of lawyers in Adelaide all of a sudden.
Yeah, and if you can spare coins so we can buy an Audi A8, go to buymeacoffee.com/TLS Champagne Pod. And all profits. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But Jeff, thank you for coming on the podcast. Sorry that you got dragged through the mud.
No worries.
But do you have anything to plug at all?
Nothing important. But if there's anyone out there who's a fan of the old Police Squad TV show with Leslie Nielsen back from the 80s, which was like the precursor to the Naked Gun movies, I do have a Twitter account that I run of Police Squad, which is just like basically a daily post of a scene from the show. So if that sort of thing would entertain you, it's just at Police in Colour. Colour spelt the American way, of course, because I have to pretend I'm doing an American account. So if you think a daily post from Police Squad would give you a smile, you can subscribe to that. But that's about it, really.
How do you stretch that out to, because it's 6
there's
episodes.
Been some repeats. But actually, once you start digging into it, there's a lot of material in there. There is a lot of material. But it's basically, I just chuck up every day is just a screenshot and a couple of lines of dialogue from the film, some of which is a good one-liner joke, and some of it'd be like, if you haven't watched this episode, you wouldn't even understand what this is about. But it keeps me entertained mainly, and if other people want to have a look too, then that's great.
You are the Mark Mitchell of Police Squad. If Mark Mitchell can stretch out episodes of Faulty Towers, all 12 episodes across the Faulty Towers.
A whole bunch of bloopers.
Yeah, right at the end.
The Faulty Towers hour.
Yeah.
And still managed to make it a ratings winner, then hats off to you for doing the same thing with Police Squad. So, and my favourite line out of Police Squad, or the favourite scene is, sorry, this is a tangent. It's at the end of the episode.
We've got plenty of time, apparently.
Who are you? And how'd you get in here? I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith. That's the best. It doesn't sound right when I say it, but when you watch the clip, it's the best joke ever.
My favourite is the, we're sorry to bother you at a time like this, Mrs. Twice. We would have come earlier, but your husband wasn't dead then.
Such an underrated show. But hey, if it didn't get axed, we wouldn't have had the 3 movies.
That's right.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jeff, for coming on. And also, thank you again for dragging yourself across the line here to Alison and Daniel. And my name is Matt. Thanks for listening, and catch you next episode.
Yeah.
See ya.
For the end of season 2.
Oh my God, it's the final one.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Not for us, just for season 2 of Frontline. Oh no, I fucked up the ending.
No, that's okay. So does that mean this is the penultimate, or
no? This episode is the penultimate. Next one is the ultimate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the ultimate. All right. So
and you did that without looking in the dictionary.
That's okay. That is because right there is a sort of Monty Python adjacent sketch called the Penultimate Supper. Right? Everyone knows the Penultimate Supper? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. What possessed you to draw 3 Christs in it?
Yeah.
Well, the fat one balances out the 2 skinny ones.
Yeah. And there's all the jellies in the background and all this, Yeah, it's great.
And the kangaroo.
Sketch. Yeah, look it up. It's good.
All right. So thank you very much for listening again. My name is Matt. Catch you next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Champagne Comedy Podcast, created by fans for the fans. For more information on this podcast, please visit champagnecomedy.com. Produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.